So what we're doing right now is we're heading towards the back, towards the aft.
Got it. And then go into the U.S. laboratory module.
This is the U.S. lab.
I noticed that node right there seems like the most space. It's most spacious. You can move around. You know, in space though, we have a lot more hardware in here. Here. Got it. As the name describes, it's an adjoining module for other things, but
we kind of missed that. It's coming again, but now have a look at the stickers. When Scott Kelly points here, try and have a look at the stickers. It's going to cut between the two clips quite a few times. I'll try and talk through it.
This is kind of where the crew members on the U.S. segment eat, and the Russians will eat here sometimes. We'll have a galley rack here to fill you.
So this whiteboard full of stickers here, have a look at sort of perhaps the bottom half of it, and if you can view any from this pink bar on the right middle of the screen as well.
Your drink bags, little.
Give it a pause again. These ones on the bottom half of the white block, the good ones.
Refrigerator things, food warmers. Got it.
Now we're going back to Steve. Now there's the pink bar. If we had a look at the pink bar, get a nice clear image of them now. We don't see many of the ones off the laptop.
This is kind of our area for
we only see 2 or 4 of them. Oh, just missed it. We're going to get another view. But look, here we go. See this blue and white one very much in the centre. Below that there's a black octagon with a yellow vector in it. And the 2 to the left of it, they're the ones that I was watching. But the more often I watch it, the more I see. There's some on the pink bar that are the same as well. Now look at them come off the side of the laptop here. Look at those stickers. And look at that. They've even copied the stickers exactly the same. We're going to have a little look at this right hand side again.
So NASA was presenting a live feed in which some of the astronauts on the craft were talking and answering questions. And for the most part of the 14.5-minute long video feed, everything appears to be normal. That is until at the very end, as they were saying their goodbyes with Mission Control, something strange happened that has led a lot of people, especially those who believe that the International Space Station is not real, to have some new fodder in that theory. And so I'll play you that clip here and watch what happens at the very end.
Very much again. Thank you for your time. Have a good flight and many more exciting experiments on the orbit. Thanks a lot.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event.
Okay, as you just saw, this right here, this little glitch that appears at the end, has added fuel to the fire behind a theory that has been going on for years, which is that the International Space Station is not real, and that what we're actually seeing here during these live feeds that are supposedly being filmed from inside the space station and the astronauts are talking are nothing more than the astronauts standing in front of a green screen, either standing or suspended by wires to mimic that of free floating in space. And so what many people are pointing out here is that at the end of this clip, it's not that the entire feed and the entire crew cabin disappears, but only the astronauts themselves that start glitching out, while the rest of the backdrop remains for the most part completely intact and unaffected by the strange glitch. And so this, many people are saying, is evidence that at least some of these live feeds are done in front of a green screen, because otherwise, why would the astronauts themselves simply glitch out while everything else in the cabin in the background remains unaffected? Now, as you're watching this, we can see that there are some small areas to the right and to the left of the astronauts in the cabin that are affected by this glitching. But again, for the most part, the entire background area behind the astronauts seems unaffected, which is what is so strange. Now, I, for one, firmly believe that the International Space Station is real. It is up there, orbiting the Earth. Hell, you can even see the thing from a telescope. And there's multiple videos of this online where you can see the ISS passing by. But of course, you will then have other people come out and say, well, that is not the real International Space Station. It's simply an empty, hollow mock-up to trick you into thinking that it's actually up there. Now, as I said before, this theory, there are many different versions of it. It's been embraced by the Flat Earth community, who, for the most part, believe that space itself does not exist, and that we have never left Earth orbit. Hell, we've never even left the atmosphere. It's also been held by many who believe that yes, space is real, but that for whatever reason, we cannot enter it, we don't have the technology, and so the space station footage has to be faked. Now, again, I do believe that the ISS is real. However, from all of the evidence I've shown you on this channel, from the moon missions, where they were captured faking certain pieces of footage, from other space station missions, specifically coming from the Chinese, which again you can find videos online which have proven that the space station footage put out by China was indeed faked. It was not filmed in space, but rather a massive underground swimming pool, likely with a green screen in the background, showing a digital Earth put into the background. And in fact, I'll show you a clip from that here, where you can actually, during certain points, see bubbles floating up, around, flying left and right, along with some issues with this fake digital Earth in the background, accelerating in its rotation and then slowing down. This here is proof positive that space station footage can and has been faked. Now, there's a lot of videos on YouTube where you can watch other clips taken during these ISS missions, some of which show what appear to be wires hanging from these astronauts supporting them, others where their hair looks as if it's been pumped full of hairspray to make it obviously stick clear up to mimic the zero gravity. Give me your opinion.
Something that's easier to pronounce.
Just think of the module. There's a Destiny module right over there. Okay, hey, it's me, Destin. Welcome back to Smarter Every Day. Now, a lot of the pictures you see from the International Space Station come from the cupola on the inside here, right? So the cupola is on node 3, is that correct?
Node 3.
Node 3. All right, so this is astronaut Don Pettit. You may know this guy. You've done all the like city tracking.
Yeah, I've done a lot of cities at night, and then the nighttime aurora and time-lapse sequences of Earth. Many of those that you see have been done in this module when I was at the helm of the camera.
He's the junk. Let me just say it that way. You're the junk when it comes to space photography, right? Can you say that? Say I'm the junk?
No, I can't say that because I get too embarrassed.
I'm going to meet you on the other side, okay? So, seriously, he's the junk. Like all the really cool aurora stuff, Don's the guy that took it.
Now this is a cover.
Okay.
So we call it a shutter, and it protects the windows from micrometeorites.
Okay.
The shutters are closed, the windows are protected, and also thermally insulates the windows from the radiation environment of space.
So can you shut these things from the outside?
No, you can open and close it from the inside.
Oh, okay, wait. On the inside, you're throwing a lever or something.
Yeah, you're turning a knob.
And it's
open. Yeah.
On the outside.
On the outside.
How do you do that and maintain a pressure seal between them?
O-ring type seals.
No, you don't.
With a rotating check. All our hatch seals are O-ring type seals.
Yeah, but how? My brain's
up here. Let's go inside. We can see it.
Okay.
Watch your head.
All right. Oh.
Oops, thunk. So you have a whole series of O-rings in here, and a shaft that you rotate.
So I mean, like on the space station, how many of these would you have?
7, because we have 7 windows.
What happens if you get a leak on that?
Then you have a leak.
You just have a leak,
and what you would do is
lose air.
Yeah, you would probably seal the whole cupola off, and then there's probably a plan. I don't know off the top of my head, but there's probably a plan for replacing the mechanism might require a spacewalk.
So my question is, how can you operate a lid on the outside of the space station by manipulating something mechanical on the inside of the space station without losing air pressure?
It's called real good engineering.
Okay, you heard Don Pettit.
A shaft that you rotate.
What? A shaft that you rotate? That goes up to the vacuum of space?
I mean, like on the space station, how many of these would you have?
7, because we have 7 windows.
What happens if you get a leak on that?
Oh, fuck me. What the fuck am I supposed to say to that? I'll just tell them and then you have a leak. Just act casual, Don, like it's no big deal.
Then you have a leak.
You just have a leak.
And what you would do is
lose air.
Yeah, you would
Just stop breathing and die.
probably seal the whole cupola off.
Didn't anybody tell this guy we forgot to install hatches?
And then there's probably a plan. I don't know off the top of my head, but there's probably a plan.
What? There's probably a plan? He knows he's mucked up.
For replacing the mechanism.
We talked about the handles, we looked at the bevel gears, we talked about the cartridge assembly. Okay, we found what might be the most critical part of the entire drawing package. This is the inner shaft, and you can see right here there are 2 grooves, and those grooves are held to within 0.02 of an inch. The reason that's important is because the interface between that inside of that groove and the outer wall that compresses the O-ring, you have to control that because you're taking a circular O-ring and you're going to squish it to an oval. Is that right, Charlie?
That's correct.
There's another detail of those O-ring grooves, right?
Right, these are the dynamic grooves. Those 2 are the ones that actually are turning.
Did you hear what he just said? He said they're dynamic O-rings. That means there's a shaft running through it, actually rubbing on the O-ring. So you've got the air that you're breathing as an astronaut, right? And it's being held back from the vacuum of space by 2 little bitty O-rings. That's incredible.